Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new here. Thank you so much for clicking on this video if you are. As you can tell from today's title, I thought I would just sit down, have a super chill chat with you guys and do my makeup, because I haven't done this in a while and I feel like I found some new products that I've been loving recently, so I want to share them with you guys. But I did also ask over on my Instagram if you have any questions at the moment or any topics that you want me to talk about, so I'm going to go through some of those as well, and yeah, just have a really chilled, honest chat with you guys. I'm sure this video will be quite long, so get cozy, get yourself a drink, and I hope you enjoy. I ordered these little clips from Amazon because I see everyone use them and they are great. They're holding my hair back, but I've had to use two each side because my hair is so thick. Sorry if they look kind of strange, but they are doing the job. You guys seem to really love the audio on my, what video was it? I think it was my 2020 favourites video, because I've been using my new mic, which is here, if you can see it in the screen. I don't really know how to set this up so you guys can't see it. Honestly, it's so difficult to get your setup right. This is also the first video that I'm filming with my new little background, so let me know what you think. I'm hoping it's quite chill, just really cozy vibes. That's what I was going for, so hopefully we've pulled it off. Do let me know your thoughts, but yeah, I'm hoping this audio as well is a lot better. You guys did seem to love it, so I'm gonna try to film with my mic as much as I can because it does make such a difference. God, these are already falling out. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna start off with my eyebrows, and yeah, just start by saying I hope you're all good. I know it's still a very weird time for us all at the moment. I feel like it's a little bit never ending, but I'm in this mindset where thinking that way about things, or just trying to work this whole thing out, or try and figure out when we're going to be out of this and plan towards that. I'm just living literally every single day as it comes, as much as every single day is exactly the same right now, which again I'm sure we're all feeling. You just got to make the most of it, and I know it's hard. Trust me, I have my days where I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to get up until 3 o'clock. Sometimes I find it easier to just sleep my day away, but then it gets to the end of the day and I'm like, actually there were so many things I could have done, whether it's organising things in the house, whether it's having a chat to someone that I miss, old friends or something. Social media over these times has become quite negative, I would say. It's become quite a negative space, not even just with people kind of sharing their opinions and sharing their sadness towards the situation, which I do think is totally fine to an extent, but also people have too much time on their hands right now, to the point where a lot of people that are putting their lives online, a lot of people like me, I feel like we're all just experiencing so many more negative comments, and not even, it's so difficult because I think sometimes when we get negative comments, they might be a really, there's some comments that I get that I literally can't even comprehend because they're just so nasty, whether it's a message or you just hear something, some things are just outrageous, so it doesn't really resonate with you because it's just something you can't imagine an actual human being saying. Whereas I think in lockdown, or just over this time, people have taken time to delve into your life and get to know things about you, just so they can then target a specific thing that they know will hurt you, and it almost hurts more because they put more effort in. Does that make sense? I don't know, I might be overreacting, but yeah, I think I've heard a lot of people talk about it, and I think a lot of people are experiencing a lot more hate coming their way, which is such a shame, because in a time where everyone should be helping each other out, I feel a lot of people have turned against others, which is kind of crap. But really long-winded way of saying that I hope you are all good. I hope you're staying positive. Like I say, you just got to find things that you enjoy, things that you don't usually have time to do, take the time to do them now, even if it's a hobby painting, colouring in, I don't know, there's so many things that I've always wanted to do or try that I always never really make time for, but right now we kind of have no excuse. I do feel very lucky that I'm still busy with work and with YouTube and stuff, so huge thanks to you guys that is the case. Yeah, I still have work coming in and I still have videos to film, so I am still, it's not really affected me that much, and it's not really affected Brad either. I think his company have had the best year they've ever had in 2020, which is kind of crazy given the circumstances, but neither of us have really changed what we're doing. He's just working from home and he's just not going to the city anymore, but it's really not vastly different. So yeah, I feel very lucky in that sense, and very grateful that we can still both work. So yeah, like I say, I hope you're all good, and you are keeping busy. Literally all I've done, by the way, is use this NYX brow pencil and really lightly go through my brows with it. I don't really do a lot to my brows, to be honest. I will use brow gel later, but that'll be after I've done all my face makeup. But I just kind of fill in the gaps up here and draw a really faint line underneath to kind of define them a little bit more, but they are quite full at the moment, so I literally just fill in the tiny sparse areas that I have. I need to pluck my eyebrows as well. So I feel like I'm gonna have a quick look at your questions, because if I go on like I just did, I will be rambling on here for God knows how long. So let's get some specific questions that you guys have. So someone has asked for a podcast update, and whilst I answer this question, I'm just gonna carve my brows out, and to do that I use the Maybelline Instant Anti-Age Eraser Concealer. I've used this for years and I've always carved my eyebrows out. This step hasn't changed if you've seen any of my other videos, and I'm also just using like a flat-ended kind of fluffy brush. This is from Luxie. I think I got this in a glossy box a while ago. But yeah, podcast. So this is something that George and I need to get back to discussing, because if you guys, I'm sure you're aware, if you follow her on Instagram, she's been unwell with COVID. So she has literally been bedbound for I think over a week now, which is kind of insane. I have obviously checked in on her and we have been talking, but obviously I don't want to bombard her with like business stuff when literally all she can think about is COVID. Yeah, we need to pick up on it, but basically where we're at is we are just personally, like from each end, we're both trying to just get everything in place, so when we can eventually see each other and film them, then we can just like go ahead and do it, and we don't need to like plan anything. We're sorting out like the topics that we want to discuss. We are thinking about how often the podcasts are going to come out, like everything to do with it, like anything you can possibly think of. The biggest thing that we have recently done is I think I found a girl to do the artwork for it, because this girl popped up on my Instagram, and it was actually because she did a podcast like artwork for somebody else, and she's insanely talented. Like just the artwork itself was so cute and so up mine and George's street. So I think we're going to use her and get her to do a little illustration for us, which is so cute. So I'm glad that that is kind of going forward, like as in that's another physical thing that we can sort out, ready to go. But yeah, I suppose that's kind of where we're at. We are literally just waiting to be able to see each other in film, because we do want to visually film the podcast like we've mentioned, but we are also going to have like an audible version, so you can choose basically to watch them or to listen to them on like Spotify, or I think we're going to put them on Apple as well. So yeah, there will be the option there. Yeah, it's just planning. That's all we're kind of doing. I suppose an update in terms of when it will be coming out is hopefully, if this lockdown eases, we are just going to kind of get straight to filming, and I think George is just going to spend like a couple of days here, and we're more or less going to film like loads in the time that she's here, so maybe 10 episodes or something like that. Like, I think we're just going to go right into it and yeah, get them out as quick as we can for you guys whenever we're allowed to. So we will update you a lot closer to the time. I'm sorry that's not like a full-on update. I suppose, like I say, we are still very much in the planning stages, but only because of the circumstances right now, which we can't change. So that is literally all I do for my eyebrows for now. Like I say, I will use some brow gel later. But moving on to my face, this is a new product that I am absolutely loving. I actually picked this up because I thought it was a face mask, but turns out it's like a moisturizer but for under your makeup, because it's really illuminating. So this is the Glam Glow Starter. It is just stunning. Like, it makes your makeup apply so nicely. Yeah, I literally just use this all over my face under makeup, and because it is a moisturizer as well, it's really hydrating, so it feels really nice as well. My skin at the moment is just so dry. Like, I don't know if anybody else finds this when the weather gets super cold as it is right now. My skin feels horrible. By the way, all of the products that I use, I will leave link down below in the description if you do want to check any of them out. Okay, so then moving on to foundation, I'm going to go back to my NARS Sheer Glow foundation, but this one is, I'm pretty sure, from Holiday, so it is way too dark for me right now. So I'm going to mix it with my Radiant Longwear. I do like this, but I find that it oxidizes like all of the NARS foundations do, but in like the weirdest way. I feel like this makes my skin look very yellow toned, which like my neck and my body is all quite red toned. So yeah, this one kind of looks a little bit funny on me, but I'm hoping that mixing them together it will work a bit better. I think even mixed together these will still both be too dark for me, so I'm going to just lighten the whole thing up with my Born This Way concealer. I've loved this for ages. You get so much product in these, so when I conceal I'll kind of drag it down a bit more and yeah, just lighten up my whole face really. So don't be alarmed when I put these on, because I'm fully aware that they are too dark. And then to blend that in, I'm just going to use my Real Technique sponge, but I thought I'd get another question while we do my face. Okay, loads of people are asking what I use to create the waves in my hair that I've been wearing recently. I used the Beauty Works the Waver, I think it's called. I will link it because, oh my god, I'm so obsessed with it. The only thing is though, which I don't know if anybody else finds this, or it might just be me and like the products I was using, but I think I just used my normal like hair protectant, and when I used that Waver, my hair stank. And I don't know if it was because it was the first time I'd used it and there might have like been something on there, like I don't know, in storage it might have had something on it, I have no idea. But yeah, it made my hair literally stink. So I think I washed my hair like 3 or 4 times, and I used like a hair mask. I was trying to get the smell out of my hair. So I don't know if that's just me, but yeah, maybe give it like a wipe before you use it. I probably should have done that. Like I probably should have wiped down the product before I actually used it on my hair, because yeah, whatever was on there was not nice. This is so dark, oh my god. Like I said before, we are gonna completely lighten this up with my concealer. I need to get into like a fake tanning routine. I know so many girls do it and so many girls are like really on the ball, but I just can't think of anything worse than spending like one night of my week fake tanning and like exfoliating and getting all the old tan out. Like it just seems like such an effort to upkeep. So I've never really got into it properly. Like I do love a bit of fake tan, and if I'm going somewhere then I will, but like on a weekly basis I just can't be bothered. Did I even finish what I was saying about the Waver? I'm not sure. It was Beauty Works Waver. I got it on Look Fantastic, and I think it was about 60 something pounds, like if that. But I would highly recommend it. Just definitely wipe it down before you do use it, because yeah, whatever was on there made my hair not smell the greatest, so that was quite weird. As I mentioned before, this is just the Too Faced Born This Way concealer, and I'm just going to put like loads on and then kind of blend it downwards. I'm also going to put a bit down my nose and a tiny bit on my chin and my forehead. By the way, if you see me looking this way, it's because I've got a little mirror here so I can see what I'm doing. I always get questions about this. Someone has said tips on how to deal with a mother-in-law who's controlling / shows up at all hours. We have a baby also, SOS. That's really funny, but also like not great. I don't know why I always get questions about like, or it seems that a lot of people have issues with their mother-in-laws and like their boyfriends' mums and stuff. Like I feel so lucky. Like I get on with Brad's mum so well. She's literally like one of my best friends. And I've never had an issue, so I don't know how to deal with it, because I know a lot of people have said before like their boyfriend's family might not be that welcoming and they make them feel, I don't know, like they don't want them there or something. It's so difficult, isn't it? I think the first thing to do is having like an open, honest conversation with your partner, maybe gauge whether they see it from your side, because it's so tough when it's their family. You don't want to offend them, but at the same time like it can literally ruin relationships. Like I know it can. But yeah, I feel like I just can't speak from experience with this, so I don't feel like I have the best advice. But I mean, if you've got a baby and she's just like turning up, I think you also have to try and see it from their point of view. Like maybe she just really wants to see the baby and doesn't want to miss out on their life, but she has to also respect that like you need your time, like you need your time together, you need your time with the baby. So maybe having a conversation with your partner, and then hopefully he'll kind of like, I don't know, offer to have a conversation with her so you don't have to. Oh, it's so awkward, isn't it? I don't think I'd know what to do if I didn't get on with Brad's family. Like I actually don't know what I'd do. But yeah, I think it's just knowing that it's going to be an awkward conversation. It's going to be like a really hard thing to tackle head on, but you have to do it. Like you're just going to make yourself feel so much worse. It's just going to get worse and more uncomfortable. So make sure your partner's on your side and like is thinking the same, or at least sees it, and go from there. I feel like that wasn't the best advice at all, but I'm sorry, I literally don't know. This foundation is so yellow. Like my face and my ears and my neck look 3 completely different colours, and my hands. Right, next question. Also, I find that if you let concealer sit for a bit, it's so much more full coverage, especially with this one, with the Too Faced one. Do you work out? I haven't worked out for the longest time. And it kind of annoys me because I got into such a good routine with it, but like me and Brad's mum got in such a good routine because we knew we were going on holiday, so we kind of gave ourselves like 6 weeks and we were like, right, let's work out, let's feel good, let's eat good. Like I don't know, just I never really want to say the wrong thing when it comes to like working out and eating good, and also then balancing that with just feeling good how you are and like accepting your body for what it is, because you guys know as well as I know that I could not care less about how I look. Like it's just not something that I prioritize as much in my life. Like I'm not fussed obviously I want to look okay and I want to feel good and I want to look after myself, but at the same time, like, I don't, like, as in I care because I care to be healthy and like be in good shape, but I don't care enough to let it like get me down on a day-to-day basis, or I don't care enough for other people's thoughts. Like, I don't care enough for other people's opinions. I don't like want to work out loads so I can go on holiday and not worry about what people are going to think or say, because I don't think like that. Like, I sit around the pool and worry about how tanned I'm getting or when I need to next apply my oil. I don't care about like what Susan over the way looks like. She probably looks amazing in whatever she's wearing, but I don't go on holiday to pick apart other people, and I'm sure 99% of other people don't as well, and it's just remembering that about yourself. I just realised this probably doesn't sound great in the mic. You'll probably hear how dead my hair sounds. But yeah, I think when we were in a really good routine, we were like working out every day, we were doing hours worth of combat, and it felt good. Like, it felt so good to be, it was probably the first time in a while that I properly felt like in shape. Like, I felt good about my body. Every picture I took I was happy with. That I don't know, I just felt good. I felt really confident, and that's where this is where I find it kind of hard to talk about, because me saying that doesn't mean that now I don't feel as confident because I'm not in that shape. Like, it still doesn't worry me. I just know I felt really good then and I feel good now. I suppose it's the difference between feeling really good at one point and then just feeling like absolutely fine now, not now I feel down because I'm not in that shape. Like, it doesn't bother me. Weight is such a thing that fluctuates anyway, and it's just the most irrelevant thing in life. Like, honestly, there is so much more to life than your exterior and what you look like, and please don't ever value yourself on that, because I see girls all the time, like, I get questions about it as well. If I do like a question and answer thing, a lot of people just ask me what my weight is, and I'm like, why would you want to know? Like, why does it matter? One, I think it's dangerous because your weight is completely irrelevant to how you physically look. So your weight is going to differ for so many factors. It's going to differ between person to person. Like, yeah, you can't compare yourself. Like, I always preach to you guys, like, don't compare yourselves to other people online based on what they look like, but 100% don't compare your weight to others. Like, that doesn't matter. That's not a thing to be comparing about. And I find that kind of crazy. Like, I don't know, I just don't think ever in my life I've been like, oh, I wonder what that person weighs, like, let alone ask them. I find it strange. But what was I saying? Oh, do I work out? So yeah, going back to when we were like in a really good routine, and it made me feel good, and that's why now I'm like, oh, I wish I was still in that routine and still in that mindset, because above anything, however it made me feel, like physically wise, just mentally is so good for you. And I was moving every day, like, I just felt good. So I do want to get back into it, but I've had no motivation at the moment. Like, I'll be real with you guys, I've just not. It's literally been the last thing on my list of things I want to do in the day, which is fine, and that happens, and I'm sure I'll get back to it at some point. I'm the type of person where I need to be like working out with someone else. Like, when I used to go to the gym, I'd go with my friend Em, and she is like so great with the gym. She knows exactly what she's doing. And she was just like great with telling me what to do, and I just always need a partner to work out with. So on my own, especially right now, I'm not working out, I cannot motivate myself to do it, so I just find it so much more easier to be motivated when there's someone there doing it with me. So right now, no, but hopefully when lockdown eases, maybe me and Nick will get back into it, I hope. By the way, I'm just setting my whole face with the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I usually always find that my makeup comes off like around my nose and around my mouth and stuff, so I literally just dab it all in with the same beauty blender to make sure it's all completely set. Okay, someone said, how do you balance your time in lockdown with Brad? I can't get the balance right. Love you too. Again, nothing's really changed for us. We have quite a good setup in the sense that Brad is working all day and I'm working all day, so we literally don't see each other like until the evening, which I know sounds crazy because he's literally downstairs. Like, we're obviously in the house together, but we get up, he goes downstairs and goes and starts his work, and I come in here into my office and I start my work. Then we won't really see each other until lunch. Like, we'll make a point of going to kind of have lunch together, but yeah, otherwise then we won't see each other until dinner time. So our balance is kind of split up by our work again. Sorry, I'm just gonna get my bronzer out. I'm using this one, which is the Benefit Hoola bronzer, and then I'm just going to use this, which is the Morphe M462 brush, to put it like kind of higher up on my cheekbones. But yeah, in terms of getting a balance, I think it is just making a conscious effort to spend time apart, like especially if you live together and you are literally spending 24/7 together. Like say both of you might be furloughed or something. I understand that must be a little bit harder to deal with because you've not really got anything else to do, I guess, than be with each other. But say, for example, like not apart completely, but maybe have dinners together, and then if one of you wants to go off and watch something that they want to watch, or watch like some YouTube or something, or talk to your friends, like just know that it's okay to do things apart and like enjoy alone time. Don't feel like you constantly have to be together just because you're both like in the same house. I'm also just going to put a tiny bit of this across my nose, kind of blend it all in. I really love this bronzer. It's so easy to use as well, because I do have this one, which is the Too Faced chocolate bronzer, I think it's called, chocolate matte, chocolate soleil. I just find it so hard to use. Like I'm not even very heavy handed with it, and it literally applies so much product. So it's pigmented, I'll give it that, but this one is just buildable and I really like that. So that is bronzer. I am just going to take my Gimme Sun, which is by MAC. This is just a much more kind of like orangey bronzer, which I do love for the summer. Just gives you such a nice glow, and when I'm a bit more tanned, I love that it does have that kind of orangey tint to it. But I just kind of apply a little bit of this to my cheeks and across my nose, because I will later draw on some faux freckles and I like what it looks like underneath those. But I don't really like using this across my entire face when it's cold, because it just doesn't really have the same effect. Lots of questions about 2021 goals, which to be honest I haven't thought about. Like I'm just glad I've got to the end of 2020, do you know what I mean? Like if 2021, I feel like it's kind of started off the same, which I know for a lot of people has been a little bit disheartening. I didn't think about the fact that all my makeup is in here, so I'm sorry I keep turning around to try and grab everything, but yeah, I feel like this year has kind of not really been that different so far, has it? So I just don't think this is the year for goals for me personally. Like I know a lot of people have set them, and I have been loving watching people's videos and like getting some ideas and stuff and getting a bit of motivation to do certain things. I want to travel this year. Like if there's anything that I do really want to do, and I do wish we can do hopefully at some point, is to travel. Like I want to see the world again. I want to go to some gorgeous places and cities and countries. Like get me on a plane and get me somewhere that isn't Norfolk. As much as I love it here, there's not very much to see. I've seen it all, do you know what I mean? So I'd love to be able to go somewhere, but I feel like every single goal that I would set, like if it was kind of a normal year, would be completely dependent on if we can do it this year. Like I don't really have any personal things. I don't really have any goals for my social medias. I mean, I'd love to maybe hit 200k, which I think that sounds crazy, so I don't feel like that would happen. So that's why I feel like I don't set goals, because I'm like, no hun, that's never gonna happen. If it does, I'll just be pleasantly surprised and we'll go from there. And maybe one year I'll get the courage to like actually set goals and then properly work towards them. But I just take every day as it comes, you know what I mean? Like I am driven by things, but I don't think I'm very driven by like setting myself goals. I don't know, maybe someone can relate, because I feel like everyone is like, oh yeah, I've got this goal and I'm now going to work towards it. I've never really felt that. Maybe that's just me. But yeah, let's just have a bit of fun, and let's say for YouTube, I would love to hit 200k by the end of 2021. And I'm only saying that because I hit 100k in 2020, which is insane. And now we're over 140, which is even more insane. Last year was the biggest growth I've ever had on my channel. So thank you guys for all your support. Genuinely means the world. I get to sit here and do my dream job, which is just nuts. Absolutely nuts. So obviously just highlighting now, I'm just using my MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, I think this is, in Soft and Gentle. I absolutely love this as well. It's more of like a pinky highlight, because I do have Global Glow, which is stunning for holiday with a tan. It's just more of like a golden highlighter, and it's so gorgeous, especially for your body as well. So I do just run it under my eyebrows and on the bridge of my nose and on the tip, and for that I use the Zoeva Luxe Soft Crease. This is the 221, and then to put it on my cheeks, which I did earlier, I just use this Il Maquillage brush. I'm not sure what brush this is. Oh, the 124 Tulip powder brush. How do you edit your photos? I use Lightroom and an app called Kuni. So whenever I have like I think it's Kuni, if I have a little date in the corner or like some dust effect on it or like a light effect, that'll be from Kuni. But I basically use presets in Lightroom. That's how I edit most of them. I just find it the easiest thing to use, like the fact that I just have these presets, I'll take a picture, add the preset, and it's done. Like, it's so simple. And I like that it kind of makes my whole theme match rather than it all being a little bit scrambled. So yeah, they're my main two apps. And then if I need to retouch something, then I'll use literally the app Retouch or Facetune if I want to kind of like whiten things. And then if I ever do those kind of like grid photos or the grid posts, then I'll use Storylux, and I also use that for my actual stories as well. It's basically just the app that has like loads of borders and stuff, and I always get questions about that one, so that is Storylux. Okay, I'm just gonna spray my face because now it's all kind of set, it just feels a little bit dry, so I'm just gonna kind of refresh it a bit before we move on to my eyes. I need to get myself a fan because I always try and fan this in, but I literally usually just pick up whatever's closest to me and start wafting it in my face, so I need to get like an actual fan. That, by the way, is the Urban Decay All Nighter Setting Spray, my absolute favourite. I have this one, and I also have the, I think it's like the anti-pollution one. I don't think I realised it was that one when I bought it, but it just isn't that great. Like, it adds loads of white dots to your face, whereas this is quite a fine mist and it literally just like soaks into your skin. The anti-pollution one comes out white, so it's ruined my makeup a couple of times, so I don't really like that one. Oh my god, I completely forgot to highlight my Cupid's bow as well. How to cover up dark under eye circles. Definitely put your concealer on and then leave it for a bit. Like I said with the Too Faced one, if you leave it to kind of set in its place a bit and then blend it out, then it's so much more full coverage. So yeah, hopefully that helps. Also a good setting powder, which is the Laura Mercier for me. That is my favourite one. It again is like really full coverage, so it just adds to it. Recommended makeup brushes for foundation. Mine make my foundation streaky, so I always use a beauty blender or a Real Technique sponge. I just find that a sponge like blends everything in so much nicer. If I am going to use a brush, then these are a couple that I do actually quite like. So I've got this one, which is from Il Makiage. This is the 100 brush, and it is actually a foundation blending brush, but it's basically just a really kind of dense one, and it also has quite a flat top to it. So I really like this, but again, even when I'm using this, I'll kind of blend my foundation around my face and then finish it off with a sponge. And also just make sure your sponges are damp, because that is the best way that they will kind of disperse your makeup evenly. But then otherwise, like a stippling brush, I know I've used this for my bronzer. Forgot what the word was then. Yeah, I use this for my bronzer, but stippling brushes like this can also be really nice for foundation, just kind of like buffing it in circular motions. Again, I'd probably then still finish it off with a sponge, so I would just always say opt for a sponge. They are literally a lifesaver. However, I know a lot of people don't use them because they do soak up quite a lot of the product, which I do agree with. God, someone said, what do you want to achieve in 2021? Baby, engagement, marriage. Imagine I did all three in a year. That would be quite impressive, wouldn't it? No, none of those. I'm just not in a rush. Like, neither Brad or I are in a rush. Like, a lot of people always ask me, when are we getting engaged? Like, one, I don't want to know when we're getting engaged. I do want it to be a surprise. Like, to be fair, I'd probably want to know, I don't know if I'd even want to know the year. I want to be prepared, put it that way, but I don't want to be prepared to the point where I know like the date and like everything about it. Do you know what I mean? I would love to be surprised by that. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be anytime soon. Like, we've been together 7 years. This is our 8th year together. So in August this year, we would have been together 8 years. Obviously, at some point, I would absolutely love to get married. I cannot wait for that day. But I also don't really want to be engaged for too long. And I'm also not really fussed about like getting engaged and getting married before we have kids. So yeah, it's just not something that's on our priorities at the moment. Obviously, we've got the house to focus on at the moment, and that's what we kind of want our money and our focus to go into at the moment. So that'll be like the next chapter that we'll do after we've done this. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of powder underneath my bronzer just to kind of define it a bit more, because I never contour my face. I just can't be bothered. I find it a little bit of a hassle, so I just do this and it kind of works the same, but I completely forgot to do it when I was setting the rest of my face, so I'm going to just let this sit for a little bit. Okay, so whilst that is setting, I think I'm going to do my eyes, which I am not very good at, so I am just going to do it without talking to you guys so I can concentrate, because I can't multitask to save my life. But I will just quickly run you through what I'm going to use. So I literally use this because I don't have any other brown eyeshadow. This is a super old, like I don't even know if they sell this anymore. This is just a really old Boohoo eyeshadow palette, and I literally just use this one colour down here, which is literally just a brown. And I take a little angled brush. I think the one that I use is from BH Cosmetics, I want to say. I have no idea what that one is, so I'm just going to take this one, which is the LA Splash Defining Brush. Again, I think I got this in a glossy box, but just any like small angled brush like this, and I'm just going to do a really small wing on the outer corners of my eyes. I'm just going to wet my brush with my setting spray because this is obviously an eyeshadow, so I want it to be more of like a liquidy consistency because it's easier to apply. But yeah, I'll get back to you when I have winged eyeliner on. Okay, so we have some eyeliner, albeit pretty uneven, but when I put mascara on you can literally not see it, so it's fine. I am just gonna sort out my eyebrows and then we'll move on to Faux Freckles. But next question. Again, another very commonly asked question. Have you ever thought about getting any pets now that you're in your new home? What would you get? I would love to, like I would literally love to, but it's just not the right time for us. Like with everything that we want to do, like going traveling and with Brad's work and my work, like obviously if it was normal times right now, I probably would have been to multiple different events and like going here, there and everywhere, whether it's even just to see George, to film or something. We're just out like all the time, and I know we have family members that would 100% look after them for us. A lot of our plans are quite last minute, and I don't like the thought of just kind of being like, hey, can you have the dog? Like, I don't know, I don't want that tie right now, because I do think that it is a massive commitment, and for some people that definitely just works, but for us right now I just don't think that it's the best thing. I think the norm is when you move into a house you then get a pet, and like that's what you kind of do. It definitely is what a lot of people do, but I just think it is such a big commitment and just literally not one that we can commit to right now. Like that's all it is. We would absolutely love to get a dog. Brad really wants an Alsatian, but you guys know how obsessed I am with Bonnie. I would love a little cockapoo running around the house. I think they are such lovely dogs and she's freaking cute. So yeah, I want like a cutesy little dog, and Brad wants a German Shepherd, which to be fair, I absolutely love them as well. Like my nan and granddad have always had German Shepherds, so I've literally grown up with them, and again, they are literally the nicest dogs. When my nan and granddad lived out in Spain, that's when they got Trig, and I think he was actually a Spanish dog, and they obviously brought him back to the UK when they moved back. But yeah, we used to like play with him as kids. Like he'd come in the pool with us. He was just the friendliest, like soppiest dog ever. So I do love German Shepherds, and I would definitely get one. But yeah, we think about it a lot. We have Bonnie over here to fill that gap in our lives. I absolutely love having her here, like as a bit of company, and Brad loves her as well. So I've literally just ran the Anastasia Beverly Hills brow gel through my brows to kind of set them in place, but it also just dusts off all of the powder and stuff that we've used, and kind of makes them a little bit more defined again. I am just going to quickly use my brow pencil to kind of draw in the tails of my brows, because mine have disappeared. I feel like my brows stop so much sooner than they should, but they never used to be like that, so I don't know what happened. And then Faux Freckles. This is my favourite step of my makeup routine. I just love what they look like. I do have freckles naturally, but obviously I cover them all up with my mum's just sent me a picture. Yeah, I cover them up with my makeup, so I kind of draw those ones back on and then add quite a few because I just love what they look like. This is the Lottie London Freckle Tint. I'd like to let it sit for a bit again to kind of set, and then you can literally just pat it in with your finger and it just creates these really gorgeous looking freckles. So I'm just going to pop this on. But the next question is, I've just read another question that says, do you find it hard being in lockdown and living with your boyfriend? I'm fit to kill mine. I feel for you, hon, but yeah, obviously I've briefly touched on this in this video already, but take some time apart, like sit in separate rooms for a night. It's totally fine to do that. Everyone needs their space. Go for a walk on your own, like whatever it may be. Just take a breather, take some time out. Like please don't kill him. Okay, really quick one. Do you have any new luxury items in mind to purchase soon? Not like a massive luxury purchase. I did actually just buy myself a little Louis wallet on chain. I mentioned it in my favorites video because I have my Alma BB, which I absolutely love. Like I'm so obsessed with it, but to the point where I've used it too much. Like I want to save that bag to be like kind of like an evening bag and keep it in good condition, but I've been wearing it as a day-to-day bag, so it's meant that the leather on it is wearing so much quicker than it probably should. So I just wanted something that still like had the Louis print on it because I just love that print, and literally everything I wear is quite understated. Like I don't wear patterns, I wear a lot of neutrals, so those bags just go with literally everything in my wardrobe. So yeah, I wanted to get something that didn't have the patina leather on it, which is like the really light leather, because it just ages so quickly. So I mentioned about getting the wallet on chain, and for Christmas Brad actually got me these trainers which I wanted a couple of years ago, and he surprised me with the blessing this year. And I've just gone off the style, so I actually decided to return those, and we've gone halves on this new Louis bag. I can't even remember what it's called. Let me find what it is so I can tell you guys, because it's a bag that like always goes out of stock, and I know that so many people want to get their hands on it. So at the moment it's currently in stock. It's the Felicie Pochette. Oh my god, I've probably absolutely butchered that. I'll put a picture on screen if you're interested in what bag I'm trying to describe. But yeah, that's a luxury purchase that I made very recently, but it was literally like a Christmas present in replacement for another one, and I just put some money towards it because I didn't want Brad to pay for the whole thing. But yeah, that was kind of the only thing on my list. Like, I don't know, I'm not fussed about designer purchases at the moment. Like I say, I think because we've got the house to focus on and stuff, I want my money to go elsewhere right now, which is fine. And I'm sure if something came up that I really loved, I just like to think about these things for like a few months before I actually spend money on them, because I'm aware that it is a lot of money and I never want to rush into purchases like that. So yeah, I'm sure something may come up throughout the year, but right now I'm happy with the couple of items that I have, and I don't feel like I need anything else at the moment. Okay, so that is what the freckles look like. I've tried to kind of pat them in, but I think I've let them sit on my face a bit long, so these ones are a little bit prominent, but it's fine. I just love how they look. So that is more or less my face done, I think. I just need to finish off my eyes, so I'm just gonna curl my lashes and apply mascara, and then we can move on to my lips. So for eyes, this is something else that hasn't changed for the longest time. I just use my Laura Mercier lash curlers, and then this, which is a waterproof mascara. So if you curl your lashes and you want them to stay in place, use a waterproof mascara, because that is what holds them. So this is the Urban Decay Perversion mascara, but like I say, the waterproof one is just so good. I'm going to apply this and then I'll come back to you guys. Okay, so my camera has started flashing red, which means I've been filming for too long, basically. So I thought I'd just quickly do my lips, and obviously my mascara's on now. But in case you're wondering what is on my lips, I use the NYX lip liner in Free Spirit. It's just like a kind of brownie nude. And then for lipstick, I use the MAC taupe lipstick on the outer corners of my lips, and then the MAC Velvet Teddy in the center. I used to just use this all over, but I quite like the kind of ombre look that this gives. And then I do just dab a tiny bit of concealer on the center of my lips and kind of blend that in. And then I just pop the Fenty Glow lip gloss over the top, and that is pretty much it. I did completely forget to wipe this powder off, so sorry that's been there for so long in this video, but I literally just blend that in with the same bronzer brush, and yeah, that really is it now. Actually, I was going to do one more question, but like I say, my camera is flashing at me, so unfortunately we don't have time. I think I might do a girl talk or something like that very soon with George, so we're going to FaceTime each other and try and film some videos together over lockdown. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching. Please let me know you got to the end by leaving some pink heart emojis in the comments. I know this has been a long one, so I hope it was just like a chilled kind of chatty video. Like I said at the start, if you want to stick around for more in the future, please feel free to hit subscribe. But that being said, I will speak to you all very soon in my next one. Bye guys.